This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening to one all present for today's session. So yesterday we had discussed about the time value of money, right? So as I told you, a rupee invested today is a rupee worthwhile tomorrow. Okay, so now yesterday we had solved a few questions, right, with regard to time value of money. Uh, Defining the calculation of future value, present value, rate of interest, then the period. So all these things we have done yesterday. Also, we have learned how to calculate the EMIs, which has to be paid every month. Okay. So now, after addressing all those questions yesterday, right? So we have got one clarity that how time value of money plays an important role for us, right? So what we invest today, we are investing 50,000 rupees. So after 5 years or after 7 years, what is the value which I'm going to receive? Okay. So now I hope yesterday's concepts were clear. Okay. So today we'll just start off with a debt amortization schedule under time value of money. Okay. So open that same file which you had opened yesterday for TVM, time value of money. And here in the second sheet, so first is introduction, second sheet is TVM1, third sheet is debt. It's being given as debt. So you can just open that sheet and be ready. All of you are ready. Can I start? Yeah. Right. So here, so what is the case which is being given here? Right. Create a debt amortization schedule for the following loan case. Now, in the previous time value of money sheet, right, we had calculated, right, what is the EMI? Where Mr. A has taken a loan of 25 lakh 15 years. The rate offered by the bank is 11.4%, and which is to be compounded monthly. So, what is the EMI to be calculated here? So, for a loan of 25 lakh, the rate offered by the bank is 11.4%, and this loan is for a period of 15 years. So, what is the EMI per month to be paid from my pocket? So, this was calculated in the last class. So, on the same base, here we are going to build the schedule. So, here the loan amount taken is how much? It is 10 lakhs. The rate of interest is 12%. Again, it is compounded monthly basis. Number of years, which is N, is 3 years. Okay, so here we have to calculate the EMI. Okay. So, yes, I think you should be able to calculate the EMI in today's class. Yesterday, you have learned how to calculate the EMI, and I want the answer for the same. So what answer you have got? What is the EMI amount you have arrived at for this case? 33,214. I've got answer from Christina. Any other students? Sanchana? Yes, good. Akshay. So most of you have answered. So it is 33,214. 3,321. Ananya. And what happened to that last digit? 3,000. Yeah, 33,214. Yeah, it's the right answer. Now for the ones who have not got, let me show you. Equals to PMT rate of interest is 12%. Since it is compounded monthly, what do? We divide it by 12 and number of years we multiply by 12. So what is the present value? It is 10 lakh. Type is 0 again because at the end of the field. Press enter. So it has 33,214. Now you arrive at the EMI calculation. Now we are going to build this schedule here. Okay. Now here, before we start, let me tell you, see already it is in the negative shade because EMI is the amount which is to be paid on a month to month basis, correct? So already it is appear as a negative value. Now here, for these calculations at the bottom, we are going to take the reference of the cell. So what I'm going to do equals to, just observe first, like this I'll be taking. Okay. But in case, if I have to calculate the principal repaid, I have to minus the EMI with the interest to calculate the actual principal repaid. Now, since it is already in the minus, as a negative value, it is being depicted here. What happens is minus minus will become plus, and the calculations will go wrong for principal repaid. So your answer is absolutely right. But what you can do is here, as I've told you yesterday, we can also add here minus because this is the amount which is being obtained as a loan. So we can just convert the amount in this way. So that whenever you are calculating the principal repaid, you're getting the perfect answer. You're getting the correct answer. What happens is if this is already a minus sign, again if you're deducting with the interest, minus minus becomes plus for you. And your principal repaid may go wrong. So henceforth you can just uh, add the negative sign to the present value. Okay. So now, what is the loan amount which is being obtained here? This is the beginning loan, and this is the by the end of the period. What is the remaining loan pending? So here we have obtained a loan of rupees 10 lakhs, 12% compounded monthly, and this loan is obtained for a period of 3 years. So 3 years means it is 36 months. So now by 36th month, it should be nil. So you're going to come to the first column, which is the beginning of the loan. So what is the loan amount here? Equals to, take the cell referencing and press enter. Don't type anything here. See, I'll repeat it again. Beginning of the loan is equals to, select the loan amount, enter. So what is the EMI which is to be paid on a month-to-month basis? This is the amount. Okay. And how do you calculate the interest? Equals to your loan amount into, what is the rate of interest? It is 10%, 12%. So 12% divided by 12. So equals to loan amount into, what is the interest rate? It is 12% divided by 12. And press enter. You should be able to get the interest as 10,000. Okay, so let me give here your EMI equals to, your EMI is what? Equals to principal plus interest. Okay, principal plus interest. Okay, so here, so what you're going to do is your EMI, which is 33,214, comprises both the principal amount as well as the interest amount. So here, if you have to calculate the principal repaid, what is this principal repaid? Out of 10 lakh, how much I am paying for the first month? How much I am clearing in the first month? So the total amount of loan obtained is 10 lakh, and out of 10 lakhs, how much principal amount I am clearing in the first month? So how do you compute this? Is equals to EMI minus interest. So, so out of 10 lakh, I am clearing 23,240. Okay. So again, you come to the end of the loan. How do you calculate the end of the loan? It is your beginning of the loan minus principal repaid. And when you press enter, you should be able to get 9,76,785.69. Okay, 9,76,785.69. So again, what you're going to do is, for the second month, now before I go for the second month, is the first month calculation for you clear? Anyone has a doubt? In case if you have, you can just unmute yourself or you can put up in the chat box. Fine. So then I'll proceed with the second month calculation. Equals to, take this cell reference. Again, So again, interest is equals to loan into 12% divided by 12. So to come up to 9767.86. And again, your principal repaid is equals to EMI minus interest. So it's 23,446 equals to beginning of the loan minus principal. So second month I've cleared, and the remaining is 9,53,339. Again for the third month equals to this. Okay. So this, see, if you drag, what happens? You're going to get like this. So most of you would have think, no, anyway, it's the same amount, but let me drag it. So equals to, and again, what is the interest calculation into 12% divided by 12, which is 9533.39 equals to minus. Sorry, once again, equals to EMI minus your interest amount, 23,681. Again, same thing, equals to beginning minus your principal rate. So it will be 9,29,658. So the same thing, you're going to pull up to the 36th month, and even though if suppose if it is a 36th month, for few it may appear as zero because of the decimals appear after decimals appearing here. For few it may appear as like 3 rupees or 5 rupees or 15 rupees difference. It's fine, not an issue. But please ensure that you complete the entire table. I'll give you time for the same. So for all the months, you're going to calculate the, because in this case you can't drag and you cannot get the answers. So I've shown you. So the same methodology you're going to use, and you're going to finish your loan repayment calculation up to 36th month. I'll give you the answers. So once you're done, I'll show you the answer for the same. So please take your time, and you're going to complete this table. Yes, will you be able to solve the entire schedule till 36th month? The solution will be put up later once you solve it. The time will be given to you. Yes, are you able to solve the entire table? Yes. So you can start solving, complete the entire table until 36th month, and then I'll give you the solved table for you. So you just cross check your answer. As I told you, by the 36th month, My loan amount should be nil, or at least somewhere around 5, 10 rupees, 15 rupees difference, not like a huge amount. In case if you're unable to get, let me know. You can put up in the chat box or you can unmute yourself and you can ask your doubts, clarify them. So we have one person who has finished off the table. What about the others? Please don't be in a hurry, worry. Time will be given to you. Please sort out. So Sandhya, have you got zero or you have got some number at the end of the 36th, at the end of this year, once in 5 years? The 36th one, what is the amount you got? Good. It is zero. Yeah, anyone else who has completed the table? Other than Sandhya? Fine. Right? The same thing, you can make it up as a practical exercise and you can just do the second one as well. So make a try to run the first one. See you. Repeat again. So you've calculated for 4 months here. So I'll just share the solution sheet also for you. Hope it's clear for all of you. Okay. So if you're done with the first one, you can proceed with the second one. The second one is similar actually. Where those obtained of 20,000, 90% compound annually, number of years is 2 years, and it is EMI calculation at the end of the period. So I'll just work it. This is only for 2 years, that's for 3 years. Only for 24 months. So you calculate the EMI and then per month what is the amount which has to be paid. We'll be working on the second case study. If you're done with the first one, we can finish up the first one, then do the second one, or you can also simultaneously work on both in case if you're not getting confused. Now, for the second one, in case if you're doing, what is the EMI amount you've got? It is 913.69 equals to PMT. Rate is 9% divided by 12. Number of years, 2 years. 2 into 12. Again, principal value I've already told you, we take up as minus 20,000, comma, 913.69 paise.
Ma'am, I got minus 91,000. Sorry, 913.69.
That's what you get minus yourself. I showed you the first case study, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
minus is correct, but what happens when you're calculating the principal repaid? What happens? Your minus will become plus, minus EMI minus interest. So
Okay.
to get that calculation properly, what you can do is you can take up as minus 20,000 only. Okay, then it'll become
Okay.
plus. Yeah. So you can just work out both the schedules. Here also the same thing. By end of the loan should be zero, or at least or is the minimal amount. So once you finish working on this, then I will proceed with the next topic. So I'll give you time. Once you are done, then I'll move on to the next topic. If you want, I'll one second. I'll display the solution for you. Another 6 minutes will be given to you. You can complete at least one of both tables if you're finishing super. At least one table. Good. Good, Aishwarya. Close is 0. In case of decimal, probably amount you may get, but not to worry. So those who are doing it, please work on it. Another 5 minutes. I'll start with the income statements in Excel in financial modeling. So I hope all of you have completed the debt amortization schedule table. Yeah, any confusions you had, any doubts, you can clarify. Were you okay solving the entire table? Yes. So you didn't have any kind of doubts, any confusion. So everything went well, I assume, for all the students who are practically working on this. So here you complete your debt amortization schedule, right? So where both the cases are being put up here. So after this, the next topic, what you're going to step up is your income statement. Okay. So, so the file I'll just share with you in the group. So you can just download that file. Give me another 2 minutes. I'll just send that file in the WhatsApp group. Um, yes, ma'am. I've shared the file with you in the WhatsApp group. So all of you can just download that file. I hope all of you have received it. Okay, fine. Yes. So you come to the first page, which is the introductory page. Yes, all of you come to the first page, which is the introductory page. So basically, what role does this income statement play? Okay, it will present the financial performance of a business. So it will help me to analyze the current financial position of my business. It will help me to take my business decisions, okay, in a better way. And this income statement is also called as the statement of operations and profit and loss statement. Okay, so it is defined as both as statement of operations as well as the profit and loss statement, where you arrive at the what is the net earnings available. So, and this income statement is the basic philosophy. Just give me 2 minutes. Yes. Right. So when I talk about the income statement, so this is the revenue generation. So see, as I've told you, you define the income statement to arrive at the net income available to the shareholders. So here, the net income, how do you arrive? Not exactly to the shareholders as well. The you arrive at the gross income. Then afterwards, all your statutory deductions and calculations. Finally, you arrive at the earnings available. So this net income equals to total revenue generated minus expenses incurred. Okay, and I think all of you or most of you would have solved, right? Talking about how do you arrive at the gross profit? It is nothing but your sales minus cost of goods sold, right? And you are going to subtract all your operating expenses from your gross profit. And when you subtract your operating expenses from your gross profit, what is that amount called as? What is that residual amount called as? Okay, is it called as a net profit? If I'm going to subtract all the operating expenses from the gross profit, what is that residual amount called as? Yes. Can I have the reply for the same? If I have to subtract all my operating expenses of my company from the gross profit, what is that net amount which I would have received after deducting all the operating expenses from the gross profit? No one has replied. Fine. I'll give it to you. We don't directly come at net profit, Neha. Okay, so we have a lot more to have. We have a lot more to deduct and lot more to add, and then we arrive at this at the last. Your net income, but your net profit. Anyway, it's fine. Okay, so here the next sheet, which is called as a revenue sheet. So please go to that sheet, and here you have few practical cases which you can solve it up. Okay, so here I've given you, see, how is the sales revenue generated? Total number of units sold into selling price per unit. So the total revenue generated is number of units sold into selling price per unit. So here that's the basic formula to calculate the sales revenue. Now here we have case 1 and case 2. Now what does the case 1 say? Case 1 says if this now in respect of case 1 I have given the selling price per unit in respect of all the 5 years. Year 1, okay, we had the selling price as 250. Year 2, we had a small increment about 50 rupees and we made it as 300 rupees in the year 2. In the year 3, it is 350. In the year 4, it is 400. In the year 5, it is 450. And what is the total quantity sold? Year 1, 1000. Year 2, 1500 units sold. Year 3, 2000 units. Year 4, 2500 units, and year 5 it is 3000 units. So, how do you generate the revenue, total revenue generated as per the formula which is given here? Number of units sold into selling price per unit. Selling price per unit I've already given you. What is the total number of units sold? So, you have to multiply both to get the revenue generated. So, how do you do it? Equals to, okay. You can also apply the product function which I have taught you. Anything would hold good into this. So 2,50,000 is a year generated for year 1. Again, if you apply for all the years, yes, this is the amount you're going to get. So please complete the case 1. Please cross check the answers after you arrive at. Yes, have all of you arrived at the answer? So shall we go to the case 2 now? Case 1, all of you would have got. It's a pretty easy one. Yes, coming to the case 2. See here, you have to be a little careful. A tire manufacturer produces 10,000 tires across different vehicle segments in the year 2019. Total tires manufactured by the tire manufacturer is 10,000 tires in the year 2019. Out of 10,000 tires, throughout the entire year, company sold 2,000 tires. Out of 10,000 tires, company has made a sale of 2,000 tires in the same year and at an average price of 200 per tire. So, out of 10,000, 2,000 tires were sold at a price of 200 and 4,000 tires were sold at a price of 450 per tire. And the remaining tires, so out of 10,000, 2,000 plus 4,000. So totally 6,000 tires were sold. So what is the remaining tires? 4,000 tires. These were sold at an average price of 650. Determine the total revenue of the company. So if you just chop out, segment it and then arrive at the total sales revenue. So what is the amount you are going to get? You're going to calculate it. So out of 10,000 tires manufactured, 2,000 tires are sold at an average price of 200. So you're going to think and you're going to solve this question and give me the answer. Of course, afterwards I'll calculate it and give you the answer, but I want you to make a try for this. Then we'll go for the case 3. Which is the correct answer? It is 48 lakh. Okay. Yes. So all of you have got 48 lakh as the answer. See, out of 10,000, 2,000 tires are sold at a price of 200. So which means how much I should be able to get. It was like already 4 lakh. Okay. Then again, I'm calculating it separately itself. Again, 4,000 tires are sold at a price of 450. So it was around 1 lakh. 4,000 tires are sold at an average price of 450 per tire. So it has to be around, yes, this is the amount. One second, wait. And again, remaining tires, which are how many? Out of 10, if 2 plus 4 goes, remaining is 4,000 tires. Okay, if they are sold at a price of 650 per tire. So this you are going to calculate the total sum of this. So how have you calculated? That matters for me. Equals to, I've shown in a very simplest way. I've not made up any kind of calculations. Yes. So you should have got this answer as 48. Okay. This is the answer you may have got. You should get, in case if you have not got. If you have got, super. So if you have got the same answer, fine. Fine. I will go for the case 3. What does the case 3 say? Case 3 says we have got 5 years here and the selling price for the first year is being given, which is 250 rupees. For the rest of the year, selling price is not being given. And what does the note say? It is expected that the price will increase by 20% and volume sold will increase by 30% from year 2. Find the projected revenue. So you have to be a little careful here. So now if I ask you, okay, now price will increase by 20%. Now 250 is the current selling price, right? For year 1. Now for the year 2, if price is increasing by 20%, how do you calculate that increased price according to you? Later on I will do the corrections, but as per you, how will you calculate that increase in price? What idea you have to do that? 20% if there is an increase in the price, how will you do the calculations? What is your thought, you can just put across. No issues. Later on, what has to be told, I will I will also tell you and also show you there on the screen. So as per you, there is 20% increase in selling price. How will I show it? So Christina says it is 250 plus 20% of 250. Neha says 250 plus 20%. A. Fine. I'll adopt this method, 250 plus 20%. So if I say equals to 250 plus 20%. No, I'm getting the same value. Now what does Christina say? 250 plus 20% into 250. 250 plus 20% into 250. Yes. Now, yes, Christina was right, but I'll give you in a very simplest way. 250, 250 twice instead of putting up. What will I do? Equals to 250 into, in the brackets, 1 plus 20%. That's it. So I put it off here. Equals to 250, correct, into 1 plus 20%. Why it is given as 1 plus is, if I give 250 only into 20% means I'll get the updated value, which is 50 rupees. But if I want the increased value, so what will I do is, I will do 1 plus 20. See, if I remove here 1 plus, okay, I'll just make sure it is 20%. What happens? I'll get by how much it has been increased. But I want the increased value. So what do I do is, I'll just add 1 plus. So what happens? I'll get the increased value. So again, if I want to drag for the other years also, I'll get the same amount. Yes, so for each year, it has been increased by 20%. Yes, the same way we're going to also do the volumes. The volume sold will increase by 30% from year to. How about it, the selling price? The same is also your volumes. So equals to 1000 into, in the brackets, 1 plus 30% shift key, close the brackets. 1300. Okay. This decimal you can just shrink here. You can go as I told you in the previous class, you can just work out like that. Now you calculate the revenue. Equals to selling price per unit into number of units sold, and then calculate for the rest of the years. So like this we are done. To calculate this, finish the calculations and put up the answers, complete the calculation and generate the revenue. Hope you have finished working on this thing. Yes. Any doubts? You're not able to get the answer, you can just unmute yourself or you can put up in the chat box. I hope all of you have got the solution. But thing is, 36 students have logged in for the session usually. But thing is, I see only the common hands always being up. What about the rest of the students? I don't see any response from their side. Yeah, so we have a huge list here, but only see only a few hands raised always. Right. So hope these concepts are clear. In case if you have not got, complete it. Complete all the three cases, and after this you're going to arrive at the cost of goods sold. Okay, so I'll just explain you this in short. What is COGS? See, COGS is nothing but it is the amount which cost to produce or procure a product. We say, cost of production, cost of manufacturing, cost of providing a service. I incurred this much of amount to provide a service, to manufacture a product. My COP, cost of production, is defined as your cost of the goods sold. So now I'll again define it. Cost of goods is the amount as it costs to the produce. Produce, it's for a product. So obviously it's for a manufacturer. Procure a product. Obviously it is not for manufacturing. It's again for a reselling purpose. If you buy or operate as a distributor or store owner for retail purpose or for the online purposes. So nothing but your COP, your cost of production. Now how do you arrive at the COP or the COGS? See, beginning inventory, nothing but your opening stock, plus the purchases made during the entire year, minus closing stock, and you arrive at the sales. So, how do you arrive at the cost of goods sold? Opening stock plus purchases made during the entire year, minus closing stock, you arrive at the cost of the goods sold. Okay, so and here, if you come to the case one, see XYZ, a company which has a beginning inventory of 1 lakh, made purchases worth 4 lakh 50,000, and the closing stock is $35,000. So here, how do you find the cost of goods sold? Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. Yes or no? So you arrive, it should be 1 lakh plus 4 lakh 50, which is your 5 lakh 50, minus 35,000. So you get the answer as 5 lakh 15,000. See, 1 lakh plus 4 lakh 50 minus 35,000 is nothing but 5 lakh 15,000 as a COGS. Case 2 again, see, here you have to be a bit careful. Cost of goods sold example. Let's say a shopkeeper had bought 100 footballs for rupees 30 each. The shopkeeper sold only 10 footballs, 50 each. So, what is the total? I mean, the gross stock or the total stock of footballs? He has purchased 100 footballs, priced at 30 each, but out of 100, he has made a sale of how many footballs? Only 10 footballs, and that is for 50 each. Now, here, how do you compute the cost of the goods sold? Here, you have to be a little careful. Okay, out of 100 footballs, 10 footballs are sold. So now cost of the goods sold. Cost of the goods sold. COGS. So how many units have been sold? First of all, 10 units have been sold. 10 footballs have been sold. So now for these 10 units, what was the cost incurred by him? Okay, what was the cost incurred by the shopkeeper to procure those 10 footballs? It is 30 each. So, which means 10 into 30, which is 300 for you, which I'm showing you here. 10 into 30 becomes your COGS. And those 10 footballs were sold at a price of 50 each, which means 50 into 10, which is about 500. So your gross profit is 500 minus 300, which is 200. That's it. So like this, you're going to understand your cost of goods sold. So your next class, we'll be starting with the GP, that's gross profit, case studies, P&L, P&L 2. Okay, post that, we will slowly start with the other cases. Okay, debt calculations and everything. Okay, so keep up your keep your practice going on. Fine. So I'll meet you tomorrow in your next class. Until then, bye. Take care.